How can God be holy and forgive the wicked that should be condemned? That's the greatest problem in the entire Bible. That's what the entire Bible is about. If God is just, He must condemn you. Because anyone who justifies or forgives the wicked is an abomination. How can God be just and still pardon the wicked? That's where the word propitiation comes in. God became a man. God, the God-man, walked on this earth, born of woman, born under the law, obeyed absolutely everything of the law. He was the Son. He was the only true servant of Jehovah who heard this testimony about Himself. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. He fulfilled absolutely every requirement of the law. He was the one perfect servant of Yahweh. And then He goes to the cross. And on that cross, He carried the sins of God's people. The sin, the guilt of God's people. And then all the judgment, all the holy, righteous wrath of God that should fall upon you, upon the heads of God's people, fell upon the Christ. And Christ interposed. Christ stood in our law place, our law room. Christ took our place, and all the judgment of Almighty God, a righteous God, fell upon Him. And when He died, He paid the price. He bought us. He did what? By His death. He, first of all, He satisfied all the demands of the law. The law demands that you be punished for every crime you have ever committed, and that is death. When He died on that tree, He satisfied the demands of the law. Now let me say something here that's very important, because I don't want you to get confused. Many times people speak of Christ satisfying the demands of the law as though there were these laws over God that God had to satisfy in order to forgive. That is not what it means at all. And I've heard people preach it that way, at least it sounded that way. No, these laws are a revelation, are a reflection of the very character and nature of God. God's just law had to be satisfied because they're His laws and they flow forth from His just character. God cannot be inconsistent within Himself. His justice must be satisfied. And when Christ died on that tree, the law was satisfied. God's justice was satisfied. But not only that, wrath was appeased. Sometimes people will come to me and I'll say, hey, what's going on? They say, God saved me. I said, from what? They said, well, I never thought about that. Well, He saved you. From what did He save you? Well, He saved me from hell. No, not really. Well, He saved me from sin. Nope. Well then, from whom did God save me? God saved you from God. It was God who was arrayed in the armor and weaponry of a soldier, coming after you. In His holiness and His justice, God coming after you to do vengeance against you, to cause you to pay for all that you have done against Him. And He is able to return His sword to the sheath now because Christ has died. Christ saved you from the wrath of Almighty God. Hell is just a revelation of that. I always tell people this. God saved you from Himself. God saved you for Himself. And God saved you by Himself.